This next part is a real pain in the ass, so I'm sorry I do it pretty sloppily, or sloppy. I don't know if sloppily is a word, but it's a bunch of not bats, a bunch of fire-breathing dragons, and they're really, really annoying. But basically, you just want to jump down here and take them out. Stand by these arrows here. Try not to get hit too much. And that's pretty much it. I equipped the twin dragon swords because there's a lichen fight or werewolf fight coming up afterward. I'm sorry. Then after we got a bunch of werewolves, well, it's not even a bunch of werewolves, it's just a couple. It's like 4 werewolves, 2 red ones, and then 2 normal ones, and then we got a bunch of gajas. And those could be a little bit of pain in the ass. But it's not too terribly bad. We should be able to handle gajas pretty easily by now. But I know that Test of Valor is really tough, and it'll probably give a lot of people problems. Just try to stick with it, stick with the strategy. Just try to remember not to deviate from the strategy, and try not to panic either. It's really the only advice I can give you is just don't panic when things start to go wrong. That's usually when you start making mistakes, stop thinking, and then just get owned. I can't tell you how many times I did that when I first played this game. Just panicked way too much and ended up causing myself a lot more problems than I was actually solving. Alright, we got one more dragon that I somehow missed. There it goes. Now here's where these werewolves come. Just make sure you start charging right there, and you should get them both. And then we're gonna do more werewolves, 2 more, and they will spawn right as you pass this pole here to the left. And of course I didn't go far enough, so they don't spawn. Now they do. That's excellent. But luckily these are idiot ones, and they just sit there like idiots. Of course this guy wants to be a pain in the ass. I'm not really sure what was happening with me and him in the wall there. Don't really care. But probably could glitch that somehow. Alright, here's where the gacha fight comes. We're gonna swing across, break through the window, just to get a stupid key. Why a bunch of gajas are blocking a key to a room where we're supposed to get because the guy wants us to get there, I don't understand, but whatever, I'm not gonna question it. Don't even know why they're called gajas, or why they sound like men when they're clearly female, because they have boobies, for lack of a better word. You can see there I got tail whipped. That took a big chunk of my health down. And that always sucks, getting tail whipped by these guys. It's really, really devastating attack. I believe there's 25 of them. They're a little more difficult than when we fought them in the pond back in chapter 5, I want to say, because they come at different angles and the area is a little more narrow, I think. It may actually be the same, I don't know, I can't really tell. It just feels a lot more narrow. It's actually probably wider. We've just got a few more left, trying to re-stagger my essence. Which for some reason I was having a horrible time doing. Like I said, just not a good game day. Alright, we're gonna pick up this key and equip our twin dragon swords because we got more werewolves coming up. We're gonna go open the door. Now, one thing you want to be careful about is when you open this door, not this one, but the one coming up. When you drop down, the werewolf at the bottom can charge you, so just be really careful and try to avoid the charge. Just you dodge out of the way is probably the easiest way. I jump over the table, I believe. And of course he doesn't charge, he just sits there and yells like an idiot. That's okay. Nobody really cares. And I get stuck on the table. That's fantastic. They tend to become idiots when they're stuck behind the table. They don't know what to do. Like this guy. Thinks he's like such a badass. Walking real slow back and forth with one arm. It's like, yeah, I'm a badass. What about it? Then we got a chest here with the life of the gods. And a much needed save point. Yay, save points. Alright, these next few fights are a lot of werewolves. And they're really easy because all we're going to be doing is jumping back into the previous room and doing ultimate techniques on them with our, well, with my twin dragon swords. You can use whatever weapon you want. I prefer twin dragon swords, but Lunar staff works well. I guess you could use Kasurigama or Tonfa or whatever, but that's all that there really is in these next, I want to say 5 rooms. So we're just going to keep going. Every time you do it, and you do it well, you can go back and save. That save point will be open until you pick up the key to the next area. Now here, you want to try to get them while they're in the doorway, but there's always going to be 1 or 2 that get stuck behind the table just because they're dumb. So just be careful when you're going in that one doesn't surprise you and charge at you out of nowhere. Or leap at you out of nowhere. You can see that one is starting to jump over the table. And I noticed it right as I was switching weapons. These guys can be really annoying sometimes. Look at them just standing there, walking back and forth. So screw it, let's just take care of him the easy way. This guy's an idiot. He won't move ever. Still most likely won't move even if you take out one of his limbs. Alright, we got more werewolves, and the next room after this is Gajas, so there's a lot of them. Need to be very careful with those because the rooms that you're fighting them in are a lot more enclosed compared to the other rooms we fought them in. So just be careful when you're fighting them. Gonna run back and save real quick. could use the same strategy we did for the werewolves, just get them to spawn and then move back into the previous room. You could always fight them in that room that they spawn in, but I think it's harder. And I like the open spaces, you know, opposed to the real tight closed space. I think this is a little more open than that other room. Not by much, but